So let's talk about amuna and anxiety. They're sort of opposites because, you got that. That was the point, that the more amuna, the less anxiety. But the truth is, it's not 100% accurate. It was a title, titles, you have to be short and sweet. And I think also the alliteration, amuna, anxiety, that sounds good. But really, technically speaking, if we're talking about the antidote to anxiety or the opposite of anxiety, we're not so much speaking about Emunah as much as we're speaking about Bitachon. And I want to explain the simple difference between the two, how they're different, but also how they are related to each other, because obviously they're very closely connected. There's a mashal from the Ramban, who wrote a kuntras on Emunah and Bitachon, and he explains it very, very simply. He says, Emunah and Bitachon is like a tree and its fruits. Not all trees have fruits, but all fruits have to come from a tree. So what does this mean? Not all Emunah leads to Bitachon, but all Bitachon comes from Emunah. Let's break it down further. Emunah is belief. I believe. But belief can remain intellectual. It can remain an idea. When we take that belief and we bring it down into our heart, and that process is called V'yadaita hayom v'shavesa levavecha, you should know today, and you should place it upon your heart. So there's two things. There's the knowing and there's the emotional integration. So when you bring it down from belief, from the abstract, from the idea to the feeling, and maybe even deeper than just being an emotion, it can even be a sensation, something physical, something sensorial, something in your body, literally a feeling of, I can breathe. That's called Bitachon. So it's like the trees and the fruits. A person can be a tree. He can have amuna. He can believe in Hashem. Hashem created the world. But he's not feeling it. And he's not living the way you would live if you really, really felt that Hashem is the balabas and is directing every detail of our life. So he has the tree, but he doesn't have the fruits. At the same time, however, although not all trees have fruits, all fruits have to come from trees. So if you see someone who's got the fruits, meaning somebody who has what the Shara Bitachon, what the Rabbeinu B'chayev calls the menuchas hanefesh, that comes from Bitachon. He has that state of tranquility, that state of serenity. So that has to have originated in Emunah. The Bitachon is the Even HaBoichen. It's the litmus test. It's the proof is in the pudding. But where did it come from? Originally, it came from Emunah. So we need both. We need both. So we're going to talk about both of them tonight. We're going to talk about the Emunah and we're going to talk about the Bitachon. So what is the Emunah? Yeah, we know there is a God. Hashem exists. But it's much more than that. It's understanding the personal Hashem. It's understanding that my life and every detail in it is communication from Hashem. It's understanding that everything that happens to me, even the painful moments, especially the painful moments, have purpose and are by design. And I would never be put through anything that wasn't necessary, and that ultimately there's a plan. And it's not just for the good of the greater picture, but it's for the good of each individual. This is the amuna. Internalizing it so that we feel at peace with the details and the facts of our lives, that's the bitachon.